everyone. Welcome to Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel. Here we share stories from women around the world to ignite and incite a difference and empowerment in young girls and women around the world to dream without limitations. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Ms. Julianna Quijano, and she is a transformational guide. So I'm excited to hear her story and have this conversation with her. So hi, how are you doing today, Juliana?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I feel very blessed to be in your presence.
Thank you, thank you. So I just want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to the audience and let them know a little bit about you and what you do.
My name is Juliana, and I am a transformational guide, which means that I help individuals and or assist and support physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to find happiness, love, peace, and a flow in their life so that they are internally more expanded in their consciousness and that they transform all those adversities that maybe they've had in their life to something that they can let go of and not have attachments to anymore, and move into a place of healing and energetic balance. And with all my tools and my techniques, I help individuals to also smile more and to feel lighthearted and to be in their hearts and to live from their hearts, the place where anything is possible, where there are no limitations, and to that place beyond our body of discovery of infinite possibilities. So I introduce people to that, and if they like it, they journey with me for however long they like. And when they feel like they are that bird that just needs to fly, then so be it. Then they move on to whatever other journeys that they have. But that's how I help people, to empower them to find who they really want to be in this life.
I love it. I love what you're doing. And I love how you said you help others to detach from things that are maybe hindering them or maybe something that was traumatic in their life, because it's okay to remember those things, but to constantly have it like be a burden on your life or to constantly bring you down or bring down your thought process, it has to be released at some point. So I love that what you're doing. Drag us, not drag us, but walk us through a little bit of how you get people to let go of the past and turn it into a fuel to be better in their life.
Well, first of all, I introduce individuals to the very fundamentals of what it means to be in a body, and that is breathing. So we come into the body, and the first thing that happens when we come out of the womb is we begin to breathe. And the last thing that happens when we're in the body is what? Our last breath.
Right.
So during the in-between period of all of that, we allow ourselves to either be soft, or we live our life with some type of push or tension or stress. So what I assist people in the very, very beginning of working with me and joining me is I have them feel a very soft awareness of their breath, and allowing the breath to come in and through them to transform and shift them to a place where they are open to all kinds of possibilities. So the breath helps us to get open in the space and to quiet the thoughts, quiet the mind, and also calm the emotions. And then we can feel our spirit, because everything is spirit. And so when we can come to that place, then we can transform slowly, step by step, baby steps, all the traumas and the adversities and anything else that maybe we have felt in life that hasn't really worked out for us in our perception, right? Because there is no what do you call it, negativity, really, that's just our
Right.
perception. So
Mhm.
if we can shift that perception and look at it in a different way with more curiosity, then we can start to take down those walls and barriers around our self.
Right. Like I know definitely like just taking those deep breaths and getting your body into sync with breathing. Because when I go to yoga, oh my goodness, when I tell you like I come in like super stressed and then I come out like literally feeling like a weight has been lifted off of my body. So I can definitely attest to the breathing exercise and the breathing techniques definitely
Yeah.
helping just soothe your body, calm your body, clear your mind, clear the space, and just open it to new thoughts, clear thoughts, creativity.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that technique.
Yeah. Well, it didn't start out that way. My journeys
Mhm.
we had a lot of bumps in the road, and I
Right.
had to, climb mountains sometimes to get where I wanted to go. And
Mhm.
and that took a lot of me changing and shifting along the way. There
Mhm.
was no way that I would have been able to hold on to my old beliefs about life that maybe I picked up from teachers or my parents or siblings or relatives or any of my loved ones around me, if I did not allow myself to open and
Mhm.
in my awareness of the world around me and in me, because it
Mhm.
really comes from the power within us to express ourselves fully. And I wasn't comfortable with that in the beginning, because
Right.
being a very sensitive individual, I could feel other people's pain and anguish and sorrow, and that made me uncomfortable. And I really didn't have the tools as a child or even as a
Mhm.
young adolescent to move through that. I learned that later in life when I decided, okay, let's move into some energy healing courses and yoga and meditation. Let's read up on it. Let's absorb and be a sponge in the area of metaphysical um, energy medicine and see what I can come up with, because I was constantly searching for some type of spiritual growth that resonated with me.
Mhm.
And when I found it, wow, it was like a multifaceted diamond or star that was like wanting to just, you know, like a diamond in the rough wanting to shine. And all I had to
Right.
do was just move away those walls and cobwebs to
Mhm.
find my truth.
Right, definitely seeking and searching deep within yourself to find truly what it is that makes you happy, what works for you. Just finding yourself, that deep dive is definitely important. And I can attest to that because, going through life as a kid, you're growing up and everything you're learning is just what people are telling you is right, or they're telling you this is how you find success. This is what it means to be successful. This is what it means to, be a person of status in society, all of those different things that we've grown up to understand or be taught or just to be standardized with. We've had to self-discover to say, you know what, like, does this really make me happy? Is this really who I am, or if I or am I conforming to what society wants me to be? So
Right.
I think that's really important to just take a deep dive with yourself, learn about yourself, because in all your life, if you've just been being told what you are and who you are and what you should be doing, then I don't
Yeah.
think, you've really taken that time to discover yourself.
Right. And it took, I have to say something about creativity too, because it's
Mm-hmm.
important we are creative, conscious creators here on this planet. And if we want to be a conscious creator, you really, it's important that you open your heart to things that you really, really love. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, that we all go through stages. So in the beginning, from age 8 all the way until I was, my very early 20s, dance was it for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I immersed myself in all those things that felt good about dance. And that was an amazing journey. But along the way, I still had those inner, you know, calling. So I would
Mm-hmm.
expand my view by reading a book or doing a painting or I decided, okay, maybe now's a good time to go to college. So
Mm-hmm.
once I was ready for that, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to a college. Let's find the right, university to go to learn with. And that was amazing because I went to a university that was all women
Mm-hmm.
and very international and opened my eyes to so many individuals who were feeling empowered in their place. And it
Right.
helped to empower me to be around all these women and of all ages.
Mm-hmm.
So it was wonderful experience, which I then moved to other areas of life to explore.
Right. I love what you said about, doing different things, dancing, painting, drawing, just to find out what it is that makes you creative, what it is that makes you happy. And me, myself, like growing up, I was very fortunate to have parents that allowed me to do a lot of things. I mean, I was doing ballet, singing lessons, tennis, piano
Yes.
lessons, a whole lot of things just to discover what was it that I really liked? What was it that I was good at? And
Yes.
I think that's really important to like, you can't say, okay, I like basketball, so you're gonna go play basketball, or
Right.
I like piano, so you're gonna go play piano. Like let yourself discover, do different things
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't get introduced to different things, you're not gonna know what you like or dislike.
Oh, definitely. And so in college, I got my degree, but at first I didn't actually pick dance, even though I got a scholarship in dance. I went the opposite direction, and
Oh
it
my
was almost
goodness.
like my professors and counselor were looking at me like, "What are you doing in a political science class, Juliana? You're way over in left field." I said, "Well, I want to discover more about me."
Right.
Can I really do this? And if not, why can't I? What are my
Mm-hmm.
limitations here? And then I worked through that and I discovered, okay, well, I like this, but not as much as dance. So then I went back to
Right.
dance and then,
Uh-huh.
discovered other things are in that way. But that was my journey, it's, everyone does it a little bit differently. But the whole point is that the discovery of life is it's an open field of stars, and you can just
Mm-hmm.
go anywhere you want with this physical body that you have that is beautiful and open. You can do anything. You can change anything. You can become anybody you want to be, and you can open your heart as much as you want, infinitely. But the
Mm-hmm.
idea is to really live from your truth, and
Right.
that's really, really, really important. The most important thing is to live from your truth, your authentic self, that you were meant to be here, why you are here, who am I, what am I about. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Right. So I know you said that you started your self-discovery process and digging deeper when you went off to college, or was it before?
It actually, well, as I look back at my childhood and everything, I was constantly already
Mm-hmm.
seeking, but I wasn't conscious of it. Throughout my whole
Mm-hmm.
entire life, I was on the path, on the journey, but I had a lot of road bumps, a lot of stop signs, a lot of put me in a box type of costumes that I was wearing. It wasn't until I actually got into a career in Pilates that I started to discover yoga and meditation in New York City. And when I went through that discovery, I discovered that there's a whole nother aspect of me on a spiritual level that I did not explore in my teens and very early 20s. So around the age 27, I decided to go into an energy healing course. And that dived really deep into my psyche, deep into my energy, and deep into my spirituality. And when I did that, something even more expansive happened there. And I wanted more of whatever that was. And so from the age of 27 until now, 20 some odd years later, I've been on this journey, and it just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding more and more of who, I am. And it's a discovery of I am more than this body. I am an expanded being with all of these abilities. And there's some things that I don't want to do and some things that I do want to do in this life.
No, definitely, I agree. And I love that you said, you're continuing to grow, you're continuing to expand, because I think in a sense, we get to a space where, once I hit a certain age, once I've, landed that job and got to this certain position, that's really the cap of it all. That's really it. But, as we have to continue to grow. We have to continue to expand. And you can do that every day of your life. You don't have to just sit and be idle in an essence of who you are and just being comfortable and just being that one space,
Right. And, it's so important to keep our imaginations fresh and bright and alive. So anything that you can do, so simple as just, I don't know, picking up a little ukulele or something and learning how to play a song, or going to learn how to swim if you don't know how to swim, or ride a bike, or doing something that keeps your whole mentality completely fresh. And it's like an artwork, a palette, a palette of fresh paint. We want to, it feels so good to see that fresh palette of paint, not always see the same picture every time, right?
Right. No, definitely just getting a fresh out retrospect of life, first view. It's just like, being in the same room for, I guess, like 30 days straight and not going anywhere. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit crazy. You have to move around, go to different spaces, see new things, just to, get a fresh outlook on life. So
Yeah,
I
and
totally agree with you on that.
yes, and I do a lot of yoga, and for just before COVID, my routine of yoga and meditation at home got a little bit stale, to be honest. And so what I did was I went on to YouTube, and I started exploring, okay, what is it that my body needs right now, or what can I sense that can, really give me a good balance of energy. So I just started exploring, and wow, it was like a huge turnaround. I added new things to my routine and spiced it up and got a whole new just feeling inside my body, and my body began to move more. And it was just like, wow, what a difference. Just a little shift in that. So I teach people how to constantly shift from the inside, but in the tiny, tiny, tiny subtle ways.
Right.
because we're so used to doing big, massive macro movements. But what about all those little micro movements that are happening inside of you that we could shift to?
Oh no, definitely. I totally agree with that because it's the same way with like your accomplishments. You're not going to make that big accomplishment overnight. You have to continue to make many adjustments and you have to enjoy those many adjustments and praise those many adjustments. So I totally agree with that. With it's the same way with your body. Like you can't sit up and say, you know what, I'm gonna start working out today and be like, okay, like at the end of this workout, like where are my abs? Like I was supposed to have abs by the end of this 30-minute workout. It doesn't work like that,
Yes.
you know.
No.
So
And
I totally agree.
so every physical body is different when we speak about, the actual physical self, transforming your
Hmm.
physical self. We can't read all the hype and fall into the tricks and the traps of, what all the advertisement says it will do for you. Every single
Hmm.
person has a unique outfit, a costume, a human costume on them. And we got to figure out how to tweak those YouTube videos or whatever we're watching from so and
Hmm.
so in order for it to fit in our lives. That's the
Right.
trick. It's not that we take it for, blatantly exactly the way it is for black and white, but we
Hmm.
actually kind of mix it up for what is unique for us. And that's how
No,
I've
definitely.
lived my life is, okay, this is how I need to, what information I need to take from this and what information I can delete.
No, definitely. Just making adjustments for your life. So, what would you say were some of your biggest inspirations that led you to your self-discovery in life? Or was it any person that helped you to discover yourself? Or was it any teaching? What was your inspiration?
Well, the first one for me is nature. I always, since a little girl, always turn to nature and how nature does things. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, I would constantly, if I had an issue inside my home that I wasn't comfortable with and I needed
Mm-hmm.
some comfort and I didn't have it, nature has always been there for me. So I would go
Mm-hmm.
outside. I grew up on a farm with lots of farm animals and trees and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of that stuff. We didn't have a lot of money, so we grew our own food. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how, some of our survival techniques. So I ended up
Right.
talking to the pigs and the cows and the chickens, and that was my solace. That was my solitude. That was the
Mm-hmm.
place that I went to find peace within me. And I've taken those
Mm-hmm.
lessons on into my experiences with my client. That is my inspiration. Sometimes, I used to take them before COVID at the ocean here in Florida
Mm-hmm.
and sit and merge with the energy of the ocean or the energy of the sky and the clouds. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
it, I find that to be really not only relaxing and calming, but it helps us to get quiet inside so that we can listen
Mm-hmm.
to those higher intuitive energies and vibrations that want to come in and
Mm-hmm.
speak to us from a more like a broad place within us.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. So, if you had to say one thing to inspire young girls and young women to just dream without limitation, what would it be?
With all that's we are experiencing in life right now across the entire globe, the most important profound thing you can do is go into your heart of hearts. I'm talking beyond your actual physical being and discover who you truly are, what you love to do, and go with it. No matter what anybody else says, you want to stick with that, you want to move through that, and you want to shine with that. Because when you do, then the world sees you for who you really, truly are meant to be. And those are your unique gifts.
No, I definitely agree with that. Like, discover yourself to discover what it is that you love, what it is that you're good at, because sometimes that may be two different things. So, you may love to do one thing, but you may be actually good at something else. So, if you can find a balance between the two, then go for it. I definitely suggest it if you're able to mingle those two together if they are separate. But yeah, I definitely totally agree. Like, self-discovery is the best thing that you can do for yourself. It'll save you a lot of heartache, headache, and even more.
Not only that, but it's very nourishing. And if
Hmm.
you are someone who wants more self-love, and we cannot give love to others unless we actually have love for ourselves
Right.
first.
Definitely. I
So,
totally agree.
yeah, and so that is like top notch, the cherry on top. You need to
Hmm.
make sure that you fully love yourself, love your body. And that's what I help people do, is to love themselves fully. I mean, even
Hmm.
even all the heartache that you've had, love
Hmm.
those too. And
Right.
because that's a part of you.
Mm. Well, definitely. Well, I do want to give you the opportunity to share with the audience if they want to contact you or get in touch or follow your journey. How can they do that?
They can find me on my website at www.juliannaquijano.com. And that's spelled, for the audience who doesn't know how to spell my name. Juliana is spelled Julianna, and Quijano is spelled Quijano.com. And with that, you can find all the journeys that I've been on, a description of what I do, classes that I'm doing, um, private, all kinds of things.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll make sure to link all of that in the description below. But we thank you so much, Juliana, for coming and sharing your story with us. It was very heartwarming. Loved every bit of it. And just want to thank you once again for being a part of our show. Thank you for
Oh,
everyone tuning in today. Once again, this is Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel, and we'll see you next time.